Oh, here we are, guys. Welcome back.
We put Glenn in the sun today for the rant because it's autumn.
Did you say Glenn or Glenn?
We will have to get Glenn on too, won't we?
I think you just said Glenn. How well do you ride on Saturday? Hi guys, hi viewers. Good.
Hey boys.
The rant, eh? We're back.
Yeah, but a bit cooler today, Glenn.
Yeah, autumn sort of kicked in early all of a sudden, didn't it?
Well,
It's got the cords on.
Yeah.
Cords and
Yeah, and we've got the barking in the background just in case you've missed it.
wait for the plane.
So, Rosehill and one of the fattest mounting yard mail days I've seen, Glenn, for a while.
Yeah, all of us took really well on the Friday previous show, and the mounting yard mail was outstanding. I got 20 texts so far saying everyone's fattened up, which is great.
Yeah, so a spring in your step away from that program, which is obviously an autumn preview program. Let's talk about the feature, the Silver Slipper, where the caller got very excited, Glenn.
Annoyingly so as usual. I wish you just call the races, but a bit you good.
Yeah, well, you know, it does affect that in-play market, which he's probably helped you out, Glenn, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I could have. Yeah, anyway, look, the horse went unbelievable. Horse is genuine, blah, blah, blah. What can you say about it?
Is it a good sign or a bad sign, misses and kick? So is
Did
a
it
good
miss a
sign
kick?
that-
I want to see the head on.
It
And
missed
see
a
if, did actually you saw the head on?
No, but missed the kick.
Well-
What do you think got squeezed up?
Well, it just could have got squeezed because
No, I think it really missed. I think. I watched the replay 3 or 4 times, but I haven't seen the head on.
Right. Okay.
So does it help to now know that it can be flexible and not have to go forward, or is it a bit of a bad sign when you miss a kick? You know,
Bit of
I
both?
haven't made up my mind.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
How'd you parade, Glenn?
Well, lovely little thing. Got an engine. Just what can you say?
Okay.
Went from
Professional.
$1.30 as they jumped from $1.45 into $1.30, and then in play $2.50, which makes sense.
Yeah, but the jockey didn't panic at all. Like he went, oh well, this
But
is where I'm
still-
riding my race from.
It still makes sense. It got to $2.50. It was last. It was last.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's talk about the second favourite who ran last.
And is like just it's got nothing.
What do you mean got nothing? So, like, from the parade yard's got nothing.
Well, it looks like it. Looks like it should be on a Ferris wheel.
Well, it does look. It's
Like
just a bit pretty. It's a
carousel
bit pretty,
horse.
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, remember I've always told you before I hate those colours, that
Yeah.
palomino look.
Yeah.
There's a chink in all those horses,
Yeah.
especially
Right.
when they have a different coloured mane.
Yeah.
To the, oh,
Okay.
it's just a. Looks like it should be on a carousel.
Well,
With a hole through the middle of it.
just butt in here. Jungle Pocket, he put a post on Facebook. I think that's the last time we'll see the Glens to give Gary Harley trifecta numbers. Can't, Glenn, you can parade better than that. Well, you left it out of your mounting yard numbers, didn't you?
I did. Thank you very much for that thing. Good to see that you get one tiny thing wrong, and you've got always that bloke there just to remind you of what it beside you are. So thanks for that little reminder. Don't worry too much about the in her time being certain at $10.
No, he
All
did
that-
actually. He said, well done, boys. Or you didn't say, well done, Glenster. Same guy, 2 hours later said, well done, boys. In her time, she led, kicked and conquered.
Oh yeah, same bloke. Okay, there is. Well, there's a stack of winners we tipped. So we tipped a stack of winners. So.
All right, so you've
So
described that the Khan...
I missed up a trifecta because they've done a preview show.
But no, I'm just
My
mentioning...
main tips are mounting our mail.
Exactly.
That's my main tip.
Well-
I can tip something on a Friday in the preview show and not have it in the numbers on Saturday.
Well, which is even more illustrative. Like, it's actually better to watch the preview show and get the mounting yard mail to see where you change.
Well, because I don't know how they're going to parade on Friday.
That's a flashing light, but it's parading like a complete skunk.
So it's parading poorly. It's not in your numbers. She will runs her race from last, but the second favourite's actually not there.
Blue colours. Oh no, Khan.
Yeah.
And then you got blue colours as well.
Who ran very well, Veronil, I thought. Like, he ran very honestly.
I don't know about that, Mark. He got absolutely spaced by a horse that was.
Was $1.35.
Yeah, I just giving the blue colours leave me cold at the moment. What's going on there?
Well, there's no horses out of that race except the winner, is there?
Okay, so it's winner only. Let's talk about the blue colours. Mark writes, hi guys, yet another winless Metro week to Godolphin despite some well-backed or head-of-the-market chances such as Alizé on Wednesday, which got sea-wreathed, and Allergic and Handfast on Saturday. Do you know the reason why Ben Mellon rode Allergic and not one of the locals such as the Gun, who didn't have a ride at all in the race and has been riding quite a bit for Rick lately? Also, we'll get to the other bit in part 2. But the Godolphin horses, the allergic was really fascinating, wasn't it? It was like we can't have this, we can't have that, we can't have that. You know, like on Friday you were going, Olympic Academy has to win because I can't imagine any of the other horses
I
winning.
think Olympic Academy might have won that race.
Yeah. That's right. Instead had to run around on Friday where it actually had no hope.
I had no hope on the Friday in the weaker race. Isn't racing delicious?
It is.
And what about the 16.5 number one in that race on Betfair as they jumped?
Red
with Adam
Excitement.
Morris, Red Excitement. I just couldn't keep pressing the $100 bet on it.
And what do you reckon it traded at the 200 metre mark?
Probably $1.30, $1.20, and gets beat. Wow, how juicy is racing.
But what is the story with the blue colours at the moment? Like Jay Doyle falls off and all of a sudden the wheels have really fallen off.
I don't know, but getting back to Ben Melton riding that horse and not the gun, I think Rick doesn't like to keep jockeys in any way very close to him, and I think he likes to, you know, like disappoint some riders and replace them very quickly.
Well, he's done Kay McAvoy the biggest favour of all time. Like Kay McAvoy has gone from being a solid problematic rider to like a gun rider.
And getting terrific results with horses not always in the market. But that's Rick. I think Rick just likes to, you know.
You know what it is? Like when you sign up on salary with a big mob like that, you've got security, you know what I mean? You're probably not...
I know, you're not hungry.
You know what I mean? You're not hungry enough. Yeah. You treat them mean, get them riding better.
Imagine Rick when he was a single boy with the girlfriends. Yeah, I might meet up with you, love. Yeah, I might not. He would have treated them mean to keep them keen. Poor Mrs. Rick, I bet she doesn't get a Valentine's Day.
I really like Jay O'Shea.
How he's so likeable.
That's right. As crankier the better.
He's just so likeable.
Remember the time we had him on the show when we did the pilot for the.
Oh, is he coming with that?
We sat up there in the Randwick, and it was a terrible show. But Rick was our special guest pre Godolphin, Darley, whatever. And he's like.
He's just fantastic value for racing.
All right, but I want to talk about some of those blue colours.
He's
because
the most dislikable person you know that you really, really like.
Yeah.
He's a champ.
The horses that I was thinking about Handfast coming into the race on Saturday, I was thinking, wow, remember how good he looked beating Santa Ana Lane with the blinkers on for the first time there in that South Pacific at Randwick, Jay McDonald. In that month, I remember seeing Unbiased look like a world beater in midweek Canterbury, like just space them. And Shoepeg looked like, you know, she'd been battling around there at Wyong, and all of a sudden she just puts a hole in them in 1900 at Canterbury. And I'm thinking, they're all J Mac magic. It's all like James McDonald has done something on those horses at that time that completely belies their form, that completely belies who they are. Handfast has not looked like winning since.
We did say on Friday night that Handfast looked particularly pooey in this race. And that's why you and I were reaching for Queen of Wands or just something.
Yeah, and the betting ring correctly reached. They looked for El Lou. Good Glyn.
Good, outstanding Glyn. And the marketplace there was looking for anything else as well because they were finding Volia $14 and a $6.50 and $7 taken. Like, it was so solid.
Anyway, we can pin those horses forever, even the winner.
And Torgerson, it's just a money muncher. What is he? Torgerson.
Right, Smooth Truth has been beaten 4 lengths in the race. They've run the worst figures on the day. That is like the welter field that you just go.
Except for the winner?
Maybe, but I mean the winner's going to go into something that is like if she races against her own sex.
She did PR throughout, so.
I'm by the way, the question about the O'Shea stable, I'm not giving it a negative yet. I'm just saying the horses aren't that crash hot or haven't been suited in the.
You haven't liked them in their races.
Yeah.
So therefore your form's been right.
Yeah, which means I can't say 100% this stable's going no good, although they're not getting.
Well,
results.
It's only 3 weeks ago that they were like
flying,
doing unbelievable things at Canterbury on Friday night.
Wow.
I mean, while it was obvious, because that was going on for months.
And
you know, in my entire life, just now going to race one, I've never rung one person ever about a trial in my entire life, ever, in 37 years. And 3 months ago, I rang Stewie Davidson, I rang Nathan Snow, I rang another mate who does trials, and I said, just watched a trial of a horse called Tactical Advantage who's in Canterbury tonight. Go have a look at this trial. And 4 wins in a row later. They bet $3.70 on that night when I thought $1.50 was good odds. Win, 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 win. Wow, what an up-and-coming horse it is. And Glyn just rides so good.
yeah, so it's a showstopper at the moment, isn't it?
My word, it is. Scarlet Rain's so honest.
spending
Bit of a
the
question mark. Where to now?
Tactical advantage, yeah. It's always where to now when they put 4 wins together.
Yeah.
'Cause you know, like the Winxes and the Black Caviars and 15 in a row, that's just all because you get to the top and you're better.
Yeah.
But this horse, where to now? But I don't know, freshened
Well,
up, trial.
he's exciting. He's exciting.
Very exciting.
He like the win when he came back to the 1,000 off the 1,200 was
When Glyn did the little left-hand turn.
yeah, the
went
line finding
Yeah.
stride was amazing, and then the other day he's just demoralised them.
Well,
Smash.
and what about a horse for obviously the big races coming up? Antonio Giuseppe was it nice and plenty condition on it? Or
Plenty of
not?
conditioning, great order, looked particularly ready to win and do the job. The only surprising thing about Antonio Giuseppe was a $4.10 late on Betfair, which looked a bit like Waller's off, and the horse bolts him.
Yeah. And what did you think, Mark, about the run there at the end? Like,
I was a bit concerned the way he wanted to lay in. I don't like seeing horses do that. I mean, he was odds on from the 1,100 metre mark when he got into that L-Loo position, that
Definitely.
1 out 3 back, on his own actually. And it's just the most beautiful
And
position.
if any of you out there want to watch the tapes or do the tapes, especially when you watch the head-on, if you can mathematically explain to me how things had happened to me, I only had one place bet all day on Saturday. Tower of Song, I had 1,100 a place at $2.60, and did you see what happened to it? You haven't seen yet?
I was
He got
watching
the
Antonio
squeeze.
Giuseppe.
No, he didn't get the squeeze.
Oh, Strawberry Boy got the squeeze.
No, there's racing with Strawberry Boy, and you watch the head-on. They get to the 200. Strawberry Boy lays in 3.5 horses, and then comes out and nearly knocked the jockey out of the saddle, and then he balances up, starts again, Allegria beats the millimetre. Watch it and explain to me how I missed a hole.
Well, you know why? Because Blake McDougall, you gave a pay to on the Friday show. You said he loves himself,
Well,
right? So Blake's gone. Oh,
Pollock,
They're out to get you.
I bet you.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gone here, but I think Pollock's on that horse.
Well, to be honest, everybody knows that Pollock's back tariffs on the plate.
I'm
Because you
telling
have
you.
every start. So,
it can't possibly miss a place. And what happened to it would happen to 1 in 10,000 horses. I still don't understand it. If
Anyway.
you watch it, he hits him so hard. I don't know how he didn't fall off. How does that happen? How did awful Strawberry Boy do that to me?
Who is like has been given life forever? Like that
Life.
was that terrible run.
Was a big run in the race, number 7 there. Not number 7, it was 27th, Kanema. Unfortunately, old mate up in the viewing thing also highlighted it, which makes me feel a bit
So what? It
uncomfortable.
was 9 lengths off them with 300 to go and got beaten 8 1/4.
150 metres past the winning post in front. And charging. Like, it was more the work after the line of the okay. Kinema will win next start.
Okay, that's G Pollitt there. The country race, they actually ran some good figures there, but I'd suggest because the leader got on the bunny and did her best.
Did her absolute best. We had 3 horses in the market at $4.20 there, and all of them paraded quite poorly. So they've all run pretty well. They finished 2nd, 3rd, and 6th. So but they all showed 2 or 3 mounting yard negatives, and fortunately for me, they all got beat.
Anything else to say about the race?
Don't even like talking about the race.
We've covered the Silver Slipper. The Hobartville was...
Kudos here to Gord, by the way, for Man from Uncle, just on the Friday preview show. So, well, this horse won last start, chased through the line, we spoke about that. He said $7 or $8 will just win.
and was going to win all the way down the straight.
then on
but
top of
nearly
Mounting
didn't.
Yard Mail, got the job done, Mark.
It won by that much. I know,
When you think-
I was just amazed watching it thinking, this is going to win, this is going to win. No, I wasn't thinking it was going to win by
I
length.
think
just
Jay
thought it was-
Collett played Jay Cool there a little bit too.
Oh, okay.
I think he just hold it together.
So, but he's actually an exciting horse because
He's
he's...
exciting. I think also when you hold the horse together to go after the leader, by holding it together, you're taking away the horses coming behind you from any chance.
Yeah.
You're keeping the tempo at that pace. I won't go yet because if I go now, I might drag them in.
Okay, so you're sacrificing the length of the margin for the security of the
The
result.
swoop are not getting it.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting hypothesis. What have we got to say about these stayers resuming? That they put up, well, Prize Dicon went up favourite on Wednesday, and Inference was heavily backed on the day. Glyn seemed to not give Prize Dicon a lot of hope. He went forward and then he stopped.
All later on for those horses.
I guess what we're asking is how did they look?
Really well, above themselves in condition, exactly where you'd expect if you were training.
And
So they're coming through.
coming through, like started favouring the race, was the Spruik horse for the race.
So you've got to be thinking Nelly Life, don't you?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, he didn't really have a platform. Like all he did was mosey home down the right lane at Randwick. I mean, that wasn't a winning platform.
But I can't see him turning it around on Man from Uncle, and won't they be just run
So
around
after the
same
race, you could actually look at this race and go, look, there's only 3 possible winning numbers: Man from Uncle, Echo Effect, and you didn't know what was going to happen with Aquatua. As it turned out, it wasn't there.
Yeah, well, the betting was actually no good for it. So.
No good.
The mares, which we spoke about briefly, but it was one of those situations where there's one mare on song and the others are just like going through the motions.
Oh, you know, it's a one variable thing, but mares that are flying just keep on winning, don't they?
Well, also,
and you're still getting a price
Especially when
about
they
it.
can take off a position.
Well, she had the leader's barrier, right? Like he had to try and lead.
And he had this, whatever that word is, every millimetre of this race on Friday, and it worked out exactly. The only thing we didn't forecast properly was the SP.
Yeah,
$9.80 on Betfair.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of betting,
$10 crown bet.
I really thought it would have jumped at like $5.
Don't you get a bit of an icky feeling when there's that small move in the betting that firms it up, which was actually
And then goes back the other way.
and then it goes back the
Well,
other way
I-
late.
but-
I always get a bit of a
This
bad
horse I
feeling
did
about
this is
it.
the one horse I did.
But Echo Effect does that every time as well.
Well, I thought that
Echo Effect got into, what did it get into $6 and then it was like $10.
Yeah.
I'm saying with
Yeah,
her time,
I've laid at 6.8 on the fair for a bit of money, and then it got right back out, and I went back the other way.
in her time was just because of the weather.
So the
They-
perception was what?
The
It was a wet
perception
track?
was that it was going to be wet, and it's got terrible wet form.
Also, that was the race where we had the break, and I had to laugh.
How wet is it? How like
Well, no, it wasn't.
I mean, but
that's what
this
the market
bullshit.
did.
This bullshit. This is what gets me really upset, right? They wanted to call Canterbury on Friday night a heavy 8.
Right.
Now there'll be tracks in 5 months' time. In the middle of winter, they'll call heavy 8. They won't resemble each other.
No. No. Well, I had to gig it was a sprinkle on Saturday. The race got held up because of the lightning, which I think's fair enough. And Mr. Van Guest always talks about the safety of participants. Pollitt's not going to bag them holding up races for lightning at all. But what I'm going to bag is when we have a little sprinkle, you get 6 ATC officials walking up and down the straight. There's James Hedo sticking his foot in the grass. All they're doing is making big holes in the track. Get off the track. I only went down there and red carded all of them. Get off the track. What are you actually doing? It's again having a big job, earning $250,000 a year, and looking like you're doing something.
and in the process getting struck by lightning.
Euro Angel was
I
well.
don't want to say that would make me happy because
Yeah,
another,
yeah,
I go
yeah.
again, another $5,000 fine. But it would have been, sad.
Euro Angel was strongly fancied in that race. Where to for her? Has she got something?
I don't know.
I think she
Interestingly, she won on debut at Randwick, and thereafter her other 2 wins were in Melbourne, coming off Sydney runs,
Yeah.
which obviously we're not going to see much of this autumn. It's more of a spring thing.
I
But
couldn't work out for the life of me why she was trading so hard at $3 in the run.
that's weird because wasn't she supposed
Back
to
on the
be?
inside,
Wasn't she
yeah.
supposed to be closer? Wasn't that the whole deal?
Well, what I meant, I was there because I was all over in her time, and I went to the max on Betfair with her, thinking, well, I'll definitely be able to get out plenty in the run, and it just so happened in the run where she was, there was a couple behind it, like
Daisy Doom and
yeah, where
Den Magic.
no, there was a couple even more so around it that were like I Am As a Lady was there. There's a few little things that I had like good bets on as well, and I thought I really want to lay in her run, and I thought around the back I was unhappy with the Euro Angel was. No, I'm cancelling all my. I'm going to go down with the ship here, and I got all the biscuits, which was a beauty. Actually paid some bills, yes.
Was that the $3.50 and up popped $8? Was that the race? Or was
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
So Glenn had a bet in to lay in her time at $3.50 in the run.
in the run, and I shit myself because I thought I don't want it. It's fucking home. I don't want to give it away. So I went to cancel it, and when I cancelled it, it was still $8 in the run, and my $3.50 bet wasn't even on the page. And I ran back. I was panic stricken.
Yeah, well, what you should have been doing is clicking on the taking the $8, doing the
Thanks,
reverse.
God. I had the same talk to myself. That's why I wasn't super happy after the race. But when you're absolutely travelling ordinary, you've got to be thankful
That was a
for
good
sweet
result.
pictures. I'm still
Yeah.
getting over this Tower of Song missing a place.
Daisy Doom resumed and was fairly hard in the market. Where to for her?
Yeah, I don't know. A bit of a tough run. They're all heading towards the.
And Den Magic went 1,000 to the 1,300. Is that an
Track.
excuse for her there in that
Well,
race?
that's why I tracked up in such a beautiful position because she was fresh to be there. But Well, she was always going to be found wanting, I thought.
Right, and the back markers, they just didn't feature in the race.
It was Robert flapping along the inside there, and the horse has got a little bit of wet track form that we don't know. Soft song.
Well, interestingly, on the program, lots of those horses that poked home late, they all sat sort of rails mid back. So look, I thought it was a really fair track. You know,
they're all heading to the Coolmore, these horses. And why they wouldn't take in her time to the Coolmore has got me absolutely.
You've got it, haven't you?
No, they're not going to. I don't think. They think it's a sprinter. Like it's 1,500.
It's only 1,500.
It's 1,500. You're
what
going
was that?
to get the greatest suck of all time in front.
And how tough is she as well when they come?
So strong. She reminds me of she's like a little mini female takeover target. They race up to her. She goes, "Oh, let's go then. I'll race you." She's a champ.
Right. The highlight for me on the day was the fluctuations on Religify.
Outstanding.
Yeah, right, which went $4 to $8.
Then I laid it to lose 3,000 at 470 on the fair. What a tool the fair is. Get involved with the fair. I know it's hard to win it, but you've got to learn how to use it. Man, it'll just improve your life, Petri.
So yes, it was what did I say? $4 out to $8 into whatever you laid.
Laid 470, back out to 680.
Yeah.
So you lay it. You're trying to find peaks and troughs. I laid to lose 3,000 at 470. It sounds like, oh, what a big gambler I am. You've got no idea how small a player I am these days. And then you can back it back with yourself.
The other feature of the race was Allergic running around at $2.70 and never, ever, ever being in the race. Not at any stage of the race.
It was outstanding.
You got the false favourite.
Well, as I said, it was because there was a pox on everything else in the race.
There was a pox on everything else. And I think looking at this race when I looked at it the other day, my starting point in that race would be saying, number one, Bred Excitement. Very hard to price it. Long. It only had two prices, 7 to 2 or 5 to 1.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And I really was sort of a 7 to 2 chance because I bar up with Hieronymus, and there it is, 1650 on the.
Like it's look, it's a beautiful thing racing, isn't it? It is a beautiful thing. And then we come to the last Glen where B. Abdullah just nailed the whole race.
He doesn't like. He's like your mates. There's 10 of your mates go to the club every Friday. So there's always one bloke that doesn't like missing out on the route. Abdullah.
Yeah. So you reckon he's a better chance in the last if he hasn't had a winner earlier
Absolutely.
on? He's hungry.
He likes to stick one in every time he goes out. I think that's in real life too, but we won't talk about that. But just typical, just so hungry,
with the
so wanting success, tries on everything he rides. Outstanding rider, and just gets the job done. But he's not going home. He's not going home ever to have a pull. No way, no.
Did she use up her juice there? Because Dad said that's a collection that you don't want to touch.
Well, what else could she do? She went up the inside. She won the few horses to come in. She's done a great job. She's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is that a recommendation actually winning that race?
Don't know.
Because we've got 3 races on the card there that are dead set low lifes: race 2, race 3, and race 9.
Okay.
They're.
Why couldn't she find a similar sort of grade race again?
I think she can. And I also think about a Lucinari. I tipped a Lucinari from Hieroglyph. She said there was 2 winning numbers from the mounting yard, and there she was training at 640, 620, 640, 620, 640, 620. First up, I'm always interested in T. Clark first up. Bang! How much do you want to have on it at 780?
Was that like 3 minutes out or something?
Yeah. I'm gone.
Gloria did the same thing on Wednesday.
Whether
you liked it or hate her, it was like there was a right.
Yep.
I've got one to oppose here.
Yeah. It's like almost like Betfair will scream at you through your computer. Yes, you thought I was a chance, but now I'm not. And that makes
it is one of the most revealing things I've ever seen.
Extraordinary.
Solid. Oh, there it is. It's just in place. It's like in a holding pattern.
There it is.
Well, no, I didn't win, but you're sort of contradicting yourself about race A with Red Excitement. 1680 says it can't win.
Well,
I was mainly talking about T. Clark.
So it's more specific than just Betfair blowing late.
It's like it's
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's an identifiable. You've got none. And I'm tipping I can identify it.
Well, I suppose you're right. We are sort of, in a way, contradicting to the Red Excitement, but it also got beat.
Yeah.
But fucking how?
Yeah.
Only because I was on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, would have traded $1.20.
I think that'll do for part 1, and we'll be back with.
We'll be back ranting in part 2 with your emails.